Hi guys, in my last video I talked about how I escaped one chance in Port Harcourt and I made reference to the fact that it happened to me sometime in 2018. Yes, so today I'm going to be sharing that experience. So in 2018 I was on my way to school. I took keke from my house to St. John's, this St. John's again. So if you stay around St. John's Iwofe axis, you know that in the morning it's usually busy because of students, traders going about their daily activities because it's a bus stop. When I got to St. John's, I crossed over to the other side to take a cab. And then, because of the crowd, I decided to separate myself from them because I wouldn't want people stepping on me or pushing me down while struggling to get on the cab, you know. So while waiting, there was this particular rickety looking car that drove all the way from where the crowd was, and then this car stopped right in front of me. So I was skeptical about getting on the cab because I mean, how can this taxi driver leave the crowd that was there and decided to come and pick just me alone? I mean, it was suspicious. Since I was skeptical about getting on the cab, the taxi driver was trying to persuade me. He was like, "Fine girl, come and enter now." Initially, I didn't answer him, but because on the second thought, I was running late for my lectures, I was like, I could manage because it was just, I think, let's say 5 minutes trip. So I was like, I could manage. And so I didn't really like it, but I just decided to, I mean, there was no harm. So I entered. As soon as I entered, this taxi driver was trying to be hospitable. Initially, he was like, "Fine girl, sorry you, this front seat tight too." And then I heard him, but I decided not to answer him because in my mind I was like, since when did taxi drivers become so hospitable? I mean, since when did they start saying, "Oh, sorry," I mean, apologizing? Like, I mean, they're always rude. So I was just thinking about it. And then again, he said, "Sorry oh, fine girl, you know they hear me." So when he said it the second time, in order for me not to be rude, like I was snubbing him, I decided to answer him. I was like, "Okay." I think that was what I said. And as soon as I opened my mouth to say that, I don't know what happened. I think their spell or whatever they used just caught me. And for the next, I think 10 minutes, I didn't know myself. So he was like, the only thing I could remember was that he said, "Fine girl, put your hand under the seat and adjust the seat, adjust something there." And in my mind, I was like, since when did they start adjusting front seat? I mean, even if they adjust front seat, I'm not really into cars, so I don't know. I mean, even if they adjust front seat, you cannot adjust for space to come out. But since I was under the spell already, I couldn't comprehend. So as soon as whatever they told me at that point, that was what I was doing. And then the next thing I heard was, "Fine girl, give us your bag now. Give us your bag so that you go fit get chance, adjust the thing well." And so I just gave them my bag. They were like, "Give us your phone too." I gave them my phone. So for the next 5 minutes, I was adjusting and adjusting and adjusting. So I don't know what happened. Suddenly I snapped and I was like, "Oga, I beg, I don't know what you they talk. Oh, I beg, I don't know." So that was when they knew that the spell had expired. And so they gave me my bag and then they gave me my phone, which was an empty phone. God. And then suddenly they stopped me and they said, "Fine girl, we need to go again." And in my mind, I was like, but people, I couldn't even see anything. I couldn't ask them any question because I felt that there was something wrong with them. Meanwhile, I was just getting to realize myself. So they said, "We are not going again. We need to go again. Sorry, you, I beg no vex." And then these people stopped me just close to my church. And then I was like, what's wrong with these people? So luckily for me, I didn't even check my bag. I didn't check my phone. I just carried everything just like that. And then I got on the next taxi to school. So when I got to school, I paid, and my happiness was that these people were merciful enough to even leave my transport fare with me. As soon as I got to school, my classmate called me initially, and I was like, that was why I even held my phone. Remember, I said I don't like holding my phone. Not like I'm scared that they're going to take my phone or something, but if I'm walking on the road, I don't like holding my phone. I like putting my phone right inside my bag. But because my classmate called and I needed to like take the call immediately, I decided to just hold my phone. And then as soon as I got to school, I was like, oh, My classmate was calling me. I brought out my phone and I wanted to call back. Hey. And that's what we see everywhere first blur, you know? Hey, I tapped my phone and the phone refused to come on. My phone refused to come on, and I was surprised because I had already charged my phone to 100%. So I was like, okay, maybe the battery was having issues. So I decided to open it to check the battery, and then that was when I knew that these people had robbed me. They had taken my phone and they had given me one useless empty phone. They just removed my pouch from my phone and wore that empty phone. And then they took my money as well. Throughout that day, I wasn't myself. I was so surprised because I mean it was the first time this kind of a thing was happening to me. I mean people have shared their experiences about this kind of thing happening to them. I believe them, but because it hasn't happened to me before, I was like, I mean, this kind of thing cannot happen to me. But that day, it happened to me, and I was so surprised. I was just dumbfounded because I mean, I couldn't do anything that day. It was so surprising. And then my classmates were trying to console me. They were trying to comfort me. They were like, "Oh, don't worry, you're going to buy a new phone." And I was like, "It's not even about the phone. It's about the content. I mean, how will I even get all those things back?" So I mean, from that day henceforth, I swore that see these people, they won't dare, they won't try it again in this Port Harcourt. And so, what saved me was that the previous day I had already paid my school fees. I mean, those people would have cashed out on me big time. So ever since that day, if I'm getting on a bus, is it a taxi or anything, as long as it's a public vehicle, I'm always very careful. This was my first experience with this one chance people. So ever since then, I've always been careful. Thanks for listening. Bye.